Yay! So here we are, and Lionsgate is still open for those of you who are interested in manifesting. It peaked on Tuesday,
Yay!
and it closes again on the 12th. Hello, Nikki.
Oh,
So, yeah, so now is a very powerful time to manifest. Um, why not give it a go if you've never done this before? So, as usual, before
well,
we get into this, Linda, I just want to say that again, YouTube, my live channel, um, is actually showing that I'll be live in 11 hours' time. It says on my platform, although I know people from YouTube, from my live channel, are actually watching
oh
it.
God.
So, but just to let people know, I'm making
Okay.
a lot of progress with driving this to my own website. I found a server now, and it just takes a little bit of time to organise this. I've got to build a website first, and then
Yeah.
we'll be totally free of all this chaos that these big corps.
Are you telling me, Mike? We'll be able? Are you telling me, Mike, that we'll be able to say what we want?
Speak freely. Everyone can speak freely. So yeah. So anyway, that
Yes.
all that to
Yes.
say,
Oh my
Lionsgate
God.
is open, and if anybody was watching
Yeah.
the Jeanne d'Arc prophecies yesterday, I managed to get it up early. Um, it actually talks about this period from 2020 to 2030 will change the course of humanity forever, and
Yeah.
it'll be in a positive way. And so it's a very exciting time. We're getting a lot of help from the spirit world, a lot of help from the higher realms, the angelic forces, the aliens.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, actually, uh, there's a fabulous discussion that David Icke made years and years ago that actually talks about we are the aliens actually on this planet. And I know that sounds crazy, but
Yeah.
I don't think that video's around anymore. And he also spoke about the moon being towed into place, and more evidence is showing that the moon is not a natural
Mm.
satellite anymore. So there's a lot going on, a lot changing, and we're getting a lot of help from life form, positive, benevolent life forms, and
Oh
we
yeah.
should really look
You
forward to
know,
this.
every yeah, every day, Mike, I am noticing how many people are waking up to what they are doing.
Mm,
Every day I'm seeing it.
mm.
Just to let people know, I am not sick tonight. I had my Momo man here today doing the yards. He actually cut down 5 trees for me um, while I was lugging logs and branches, etc., to his truck. We filled a whole truck, guys. Like an American dumps truck, the garbage trucks. That's how
Yeah.
big it was. It was huge what we did today. Hence, I'm all blocked up now because I'm highly allergic to grass,
Mm.
pollens, etc. So I'm not sick. I'm just um, allergic to nature, which is ironic. It's so ironic. But
Yeah.
with the energies that have been going on last week, they were trying really hard, Mike, to get us all
Yeah.
last week.
Yeah.
And I think they've just had this huge influx of our own energy back at them, which has made them all retaliate.
Yeah.
You look at the Speaker of the House, Pell, with an OC at the end. She went over to an Asian country, and look, she didn't even. She was supposed to stay there for a long time. She didn't even stay. She got straight out.
Yeah.
So they are withdrawing.
Yeah.
We're seeing it now. They're withdrawing.
Yeah.
There's so many people now waking up to really what's going on out there. So I'm just so grateful that people are waking up and just seeing that there are some really horrible
Mm.
things going on at this point.
Yeah.
Energy wise, it's horrible.
Yeah.
I've just done some. Well, I will go there. I call it money plocks. So we're not going to get on an algorithm here because it's money plocks. This vaccine, guys, if you haven't heard, one, it's full of fluoride. What does fluoride do? One, it causes massive amount of cancer. Secondly, it blocks down and shuts down our pineal gland, which gives us all our psychic abilities. So if you are spiritual and you like being spiritual or psychic, intuitive, whatever you want to call it, please be careful of taking this money pox vaccine. Okay? The other thing that's in it is Cypro, 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 I think it is. This is an antiviral that they give to people with AIDS. Are you working it out yet? Okay, because this money pox, it is actually a reaction to a certain medical procedure in the arm.
Yeah.
So they know it. They, on all my messages, whenever I talk to her, they know that this is directly from those who have had this in the arm.
Yeah.
So they can't just come out and say it's from it, Mike. They can't.
Yeah.
Because 90% of people who took it, like 90% of the population, they'll all want answers. They'll all want compensation. They'll all want lawsuits. So they have to keep hiding behind it. It's horrible, but what can we do?
Well,
I'm just grateful that I'm awake to it. Yeah, keep going.
I've noticed, Linda, that despite their efforts to shut the pineal gland down, I've noticed, especially in this last couple of weeks, more and more normies are becoming more intuitive.
And that's the thing, because that's what energy does, Mike. When you got to imagine the balances, like the Libra balance, right? The weight of scales, right? When good things go down. When things go up, things go down on the other side. So we've got all this negativity pulling it down. So look what's happening here. All these people who weren't intuitive are now waking up. Like, I get contacted every week by people saying, pardon me, I've just seen a ghost. I've never seen one before. Or I'm having this weird experience where it's just some sort of psychic phenomena, but they've never had it before, so they think they're going crazy. And so there are a lot of people now waking up to their intuition, which is great, absolutely great. And it's good that they're finding me, because I try, I'm just humbled by this. I try to be the teacher, the mentor, the guider, so then they don't feel like what I went through when I was a kid, getting shut down at every turn. I want to encourage and support these people so then they don't feel that it's that they're freaks or alienated in society because of what they're going through. So it is good that, there are people now, they're not just waking up, they're reaching out to find people who know what they're going through. So this is all about not only waking up to what is out there, the veil's lifting, but they're also finding tribe members as well. So it's beautiful, Mike. I'm loving it. It's really good that this is occurring.
Yeah. Super.
I don't know what this ascension is going to be about. A lot of people are talking about ascension. I have no clue what that is about, but it's good that there's a lot of people on the right side of the track now.
The ascension, from what I understand, is no longer working from the ego mind. It's now from the heart energy. And since the heart energy only knows love, this is what we're becoming from. And many people, somebody said it yesterday actually, why are so many intellectual people falling for all of this nonsense that goes along? And the answer is simple: because you're intelligent, it doesn't mean you're conscious. And that was a great way of putting things. But the ascension and the fifth dimension is all about heart energy, heart consciousness. It's about the collective. Of course, you have your own individual life and you do your things your own way, but it's about the collective. And we've been building this collective in our own little community for 2 years. And it is a bit of a struggle because some people still are dragging their heels on it. But you bring yourself forward, and as a natural side effect, a ripple effect, others that are just in that peripheral will start to fall in. So yeah, it's been a very good week for all that, and I think the Lions Gate has contributed to this greatly. So we'll wait and see when it
Yeah.
closes on the 12th. I think if there's a shift. But,
Oh, darling, it's all good,
yeah,
you know.
yeah,
Any good energy coming in is good in my
yeah,
terms.
yeah.
You know, we're all getting knocked around. Hello.
Well, I'll tell you, we better get on. And so,
Yes, I know. We better get on.
so
Yes. So where are we going to
well,
first?
talking of good energy and bubbly energy, let's go over to Katerina and hear what she's got to say on the paranormal news. Actually, we got
Yep.
a double feature with Katerina today. She's going to be telling us about her convent story and what she saw. But in the meantime, let's see what she has to say with the news. Katerina, why is New York so good they named it twice? Why?
Because the people are just so nice.
Yeah, well, I can vouch for that. I've been to New York a couple of times, and it's a very strange cultural difference. I grew up in England from an Italian family, and as you know, Italian families, they talk and shout and da-da-da-da-dum. But growing up in England, it's a very conservative, and you can sit on a train and not talk to anyone for 3 hours, you know. But
Wow.
but in New York, going from New York Grand Central to Connecticut, no problem. Everyone wants to talk to you. You know, so it's I love New York. But there we are. So now we know why it's named twice, because the people are lovely. So, Katerina, what's on the news today?
Let's start off, interestingly enough, in New York. Yeah, there was a monster that showed up on the Montauk Beach in Long Island, New York. Nobody knows exactly what it is. It was in about 2008, 2009. Beachgoers happened across this creature that really didn't resemble anything specifically. It looked like a mutation. It had like a ghastly, rigid jaw with all these sharp teeth, and its hands looked kind of bizarre and out of place. It had no hair. So there's a few points of speculations about it. It wasn't too far from a place called Plum Island, which does kind of, chemical, medical experimentations on animals, specifically with animals. And it is said that Plum Island was actually the brainchild of one Eric Thoth, who was a Nazi scientist that America kind of, I guess, captured in, the end of World War II, because he did something similar in, Nazi Germany. So, it's kind of, they don't know if Lyme disease started from this Plum Island. So I don't know, there's a lot of mystery shrouded there. And some people say that it was actually a dead raccoon who was given a Viking burial from these two people that I guess had nothing better to do that day than to set fire to a raccoon carcass and send it across the river.
Well, it didn't look very much like a raccoon, that's for sure.
Right.
But I do know that there are a lot of experiments going on, cloning, and well, that's been going on since before the beginning of the Second World War, and interbreeding species. Of course, that's still up in the air. There's no evidence. There's no evidence if you just look at things from the mainstream point of view, but if you expand your consciousness and awareness, you'll probably find there's a lot going on.
Yeah, and maybe this is, the first stage of proof for,
Yeah. Well, we'll wait and see. But what next we got there? Something spooky, I believe.
Yes, let's go a little bit north to Maine. There's this town called Demericotta. I might be pronouncing it wrong, although shame on me, I'm Italian. I should be able to pronounce it a little bit better. But there was a woman in the 1800s who was a medium. And she used to do trance work and seances at her home, at her estate. And she had a lovely home and did this mediumship there. But in 1882, what happened was she slipped into kind of a coma-like state, I guess is how we would call it today. For about 2 weeks, she had no vital signs really, but she remained warm to the touch. Her skin was vibrant, so it doesn't seem like she was just flat out, gone. So after another 2 weeks, a doctor examined her, and there was no change for better or worse. And so, her family, didn't approve, but lo and behold, the doctor and his cohorts carried her out in a wooden casket and buried her.
Wow.
In an unmarked grave. Yes, and to this day they say that, you could see a mist hanging over her cemetery, like a blue mist, and her house is still reportedly haunted. And guess what? It's an Airbnb. You could stay there if you'd like. And see if Mary will talk to you and tell you what really happened.
Yeah, well, I'm sure she'll do more than just talk to you as well. But yeah, it's very strange. My grandfather, before he died, one of his requests were that to make sure that he was dead, that they make sure that the veins were split, so that, because back in the day they would bury people alive because they thought they were dead, and they would also have a bell in their coffin that they could ring if they were alive.
Wow.
Yeah, bit spooky, really.
Yeah.
So, and our final story, back in Maine again.
Yes, still in Maine, there is the Newcastle house. It belonged to a lady named Myrtle Gascoigne. I'm pronouncing names wrong today. Pardon me, but
it's Sunday. It's okay.
Yeah. Thank you. I'll have some more of my coffee. But what happened is it was her house, and it's turned now into a tavern. And now they've reported a haunting with such ferocity that there's been property damage, and even bottles have been thrown around all over the place, liquor bottles in this tavern. So yes, there is another place you could go in Maine and see if you can detect some ghostly activity.
Yeah, it seems to be bars, hotels seem to be a good source of for ghosts, if you like to hang out. I don't know, why do they do this? Is it a low vibration that's down there in bars and pubs? Maybe people watching this can give their views on this. Why do they think that hotels and bars are a good source for ghosts? Interesting.
I don't know. Is it that maybe they just, like the celebratory nature of it and want to be a part of it?
Possibly. Or it's a good place to be mischievous.
Oh, yes. That's why they call it spirits when you drink, right?
There you go. Well, okay. Well, that's about it for today. You're off to the big city in the week. Yes, things are moving again in the big city. So wonderful.
Thank God.
Yeah. So next week, same time, same place.
Yes.
What should we do in the meantime?
Stay curious, my friends.
There we go. She's got an infectious laugh as well.
Gorgeous. God, I love her. I love her. Okay, the biggest thing I want to talk about in there, Mike,
Yeah.
is why are hotels so haunted?
Hmm. Yeah.
Because I think I know the answer.
Ah.
And it all comes down to, what is a hotel? A hotel is where people go to forget their lives.
Yeah.
It's where they go to feel good about themselves.
Yeah.
It's also where they go to drown their sorrows.
Yeah.
Okay? So when people die at hotels, they don't want to go home.
No.
You know, it's like casinos. Do you know how many I went down the casino, and I'm not saying that I'm a gambler here at all, guys, but I actually went to a casino about 3 weeks ago with my friend. She drove me down. I saw about 6 ghosts in there that day. Because when you're in a casino, same as a hotel, you don't want to go home because that's the place where you feel good about yourself.
Yeah.
Even if you're losing and you're drinking excessively and you're losing all your money on either buying alcohol or gambling, it's still that release from our reality of what we have to go home and face every day.
Right.
Okay? So it's all about mental health. It's psychological reasons why ghosts stay there.
Yeah.
You know, it's really sad when you think about it, that they just don't want to, one, go to heaven,
Yeah.
and 2, they don't want to go home and be with their supposed loved ones.
No. No.
Because
Supposed.
usually, because a lot of people, and this is what's so unfortunate with society, so many people live at the hotel because they don't want to be at home with their loved ones.
Yeah.
You know? They go home, they have a fight with their wife, so where do they go? They go straight to the pub.
Yeah.
You know, oh, I'm going to the pub, see you later.
Yeah.
Because they don't want to deal with their lives.
Yeah.
So that's why
Good point. Good
I
point.
feel
Yeah. Yeah.
that's why I feel most hotels are haunted.
Yeah.
You know, because you look at even like the old 1800 hotels that usually have the upstairs boudoirs. The madam would escort the gentleman up there to have some good time with the females. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
They're very haunted.
Yeah.
Because that's where the guys feel good about themselves. You know, so of course they hang around there when they've died because they love that euphoric feeling of feeling wanted by somebody.
Yeah.
You know, it's sad. It really is, Mike.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that's why ghosts are always at hotels. You know, because I've seen a lot of hotels, obviously, and what I find is most of the residents that don't want to leave, they're all male.
Yeah.
There's not too many females that haunt hotels. They're all males. Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah,
Good
it's
point.
not nice.
Good
yeah, so
point.
there you go. So that's what I think about hotels being haunted.
Well.
The other thing in there I liked was the Nazi scientist. Hello. You know, because I'm a conspiracy theory. I've got my tinfoil hat on.
Yeah.
You look at all the scientists in Germany after World War II, they all went to America.
Mm.
Enough said. You know?
And Russia, actually. Yeah.
Enough said.
They divided them up.
Enough said.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah, so there you go. That's
Well-
all I'm saying there too. Okay.
Talking of ghosts, let's go and see some ghostly activity. And
Yes.
please, people, comment. Let us know your thoughts on this.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Guys, I'll let you know we're about to see 3 ghost videos. We'll call them A, B, C. Okay? A, B, C, or 1, 2, 3, because there's 3 of them. Okay? Let's see what you think. Are they real or are they fake? Okay? Let's go there and have a look. Are they real or fake?
Here we go.
Here's some freaky footage uploaded by TikTok user Archivos del Infierno. It seems to show something mysterious happening near an ambulance. Take a look. Watching that again in slow motion, a misty shape appears to drift out the back of the ambulance. Naturally, commenters were shocked by the footage, with some suggesting it's the soul or spirit of someone who's just died in the back of the ambulance. It's hard to say for certain what's been captured here, but it is definitely a weird piece of footage. Could it really be the spirit of someone who recently passed away? Take another look. and decide for yourself. Here's another clip from the TikTok account Archivos del Infierno. This clip was allegedly captured by an employee at a morgue who was working the late shift at 3 AM. They were hearing some strange noises coming from one of the rooms, so they took out their phone to try and document the strange sounds. Take a look at what was captured. Watching that again, a blue stool seems to move all on its own. Then seconds later, it moves again. Given that this clip was filmed inside of a morgue, many viewers have speculated that we're seeing some genuine paranormal activity, perhaps from a spirit that's trapped on the property, unable to move to the afterlife. The clip was uploaded to TikTok by Elma's niece, who goes by the username Paula Hermosa7. Take a look at what happens.
Qué lindo.
O sea, te das cuenta que tu tío tenía una energía, un sueño, no solo un sueño, tenía un convencimiento de que sí iba a ser realidad.
During the interview, Elma's ponytail lifts up into the air. It looks like it's moved by some sort of unseen force.
Un sueño, no solo un sueño, tenía un convencimiento de que sí iba a ser realidad.
Viewers were particularly stunned because at the time the ponytail lifts up, Elma was talking about his late brother Ulysses. Ulysses Hermosa died in 1992 at the age of 38 from complications arising from leukemia. Ulysses was integral in the success of the folk group Los Carcas, which he and his brothers performed in. The family believes that Ulysses made an appearance in the interview with his brother Elmer, lifting up his ponytail as a way of making contact.
O sea, te das cuenta que tu tío tenía una energía, un sueño, no solo un sueño, tenía un convencimiento de que sí iba a ser.
So could this be true? Is the spirit of their lost uncle and brother trying to make contact from the beyond? I'll leave that up to you to decide.
Que tu tío tenía una energía, un sueño, no solo un sueño, tenía un convencimiento de que sí iba a ser.
Wow.
Wow.
Well, shall I fire away?
Yes, please. Do you want to start with number one first?
Yeah.
Or just go through all of them, Mike?
I'll run through them briefly. First one, I think I would err on the side of that is most likely not a spirit coming out of the ambulance. I think that could easily be checked. The guy who took the video could easily have asked, since I presume that he lived in the same block, and that would have been a talking point, would have known if the person had died or not. If we knew that the person had died, then we could say that's a good. We could say that that's a good chance that is spirit. But I didn't see the spirit coming out of the ambulance. I just saw it appear, and went where it went. So I couldn't confirm that it come out of the ambulance. That's just my view on that. Number two, I think is real. At first I thought it wasn't, because all we saw was the chair go under the table and then the camera whip round, and there could have easily have been someone under the table and ran away. But when they showed it the second time and it moved, I would say, since it's a morgue, it's quite possible that that was real, although it could have been string, you know. But I would say that's real. And the third one I would say is real. That's
okay, do you want my call?
Yeah.
Okay, first one, the ambulance. I actually believe this is true footage, but it's not a spirit leaving a deceased person in the back of the ambulance.
Right.
Because they don't come out the back, they go up. Okay? I've seen other footages where there are spirits coming out, they go upwards, okay? I believe that this is actually a ghost that's haunting the hospital.
Right.
Because
that's a good point.
the thing is, that ambulance it's already been at the ER. It's just slowly moving around the side of the ambulance, the hospital, like it's going back to work.
Yeah.
So it's probably empty. I don't think there was anyone in the back of it. I think it was an empty ambulance.
Right.
So I believe that was actually a ghost haunting the hotel, the hospital. I'm still on hotels here. On the hospital, okay? Number 2, absolutely. I love it how you can actually see the wall where there's like a window in the morgue, so you can see that there's no strings attached.
Right. Yeah.
Because of the way, the direction of the stool moving, there'd be a pulley system type thing there to make it go towards the wall, but there wasn't. So I really like that. I also believe that one's number 2 is true as well.
Yeah.
Number 3 is the guy with his ponytail. That's the one that really piqued my interest.
Right.
Because when I slowed it down, Mike, okay, now I'm just going to use my own hair, okay? I'll just pull out a little bit of actually, I'll just use my own hair, right? It's sitting here, but what his ponytail does is it does this little curl at the bottom like this, and then it lifts up this way, so it's like going upwards out the back, but then the whole hair goes out to the side and flicks around to the back. So we've got 2 or 3 different directions that it's moving.
Right.
So if it was a string, the string would have just pulled it straight back around the back of his hair like that. But because it sort of did this curl, and then it goes up, and then it goes that way, and then back around the back. So how do you do that without pulleys? Right? So it would have been very, very hard. And what about the door moving? Hello, who did not notice the door
I noticed the door,
So what was that closed, or was it secured in any way? Was there a breeze that could have possibly done that? But then if there's a breeze, would that be enough force to make his ponytail go around the back? And, I wear ponytails a lot, and it takes a lot of force because of the hair weighing down at the front. Even though he's just got like that rat tail thing, it still would have taken a lot of wind. So you still would have seen all the little hairs around his, we all have these hairs that go wispy if it had been really breezy. So I actually believe all 3 of those are real. Sorry, I nearly said fake, but they're not fake. I believe all 3 of those are real, Mike.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. Super.
Yeah.
Well, that's cleared that one up.
Good vintage. Now, while we're talking ghosts, I'm going to do it again, guys. Now, you've got to be watching live, so I don't know how many viewers that we've got, because I'm in there. We've got about 6 plus me. So, guys, who would like a copy of my book? It's a PDF that I email you. It's called Ghosts, The Psychology of Why They Stay. It's 197 pages, real ghost stories and real ghost photos that I personally took, so I know they're real, because my integrity would never be able to do fake stuff. So if you do want a free copy of my book, it's a PDF, please comment your email and I'll send you over a free PDF of my book, okay? There you go. Or I'll even put my email in. So if some people just don't like sharing their email, so I'll share my email. It's actually Linda@LindaRay, so I'm just typing this right now live. LindaRay.info. So if you want to email me, guys, I've just commented my email. Comment to me and just say free book. Saw you on the show with Mike. You said free book or something, and I'm happy to send you over a free copy of my book. Okay? Yay!
Super.
Yay, because that's now on the Lulu book stand. Okay. Yeah, so, darling, let's get into our next one. Where are we going to next?
Slip.
The reincarnation?
Time slip. It's a quickie, a quick time slip. Well, interesting one. I saw myself dead, I think he says, in another dimension.
Yes.
Yeah, interesting.
Yes.
Okay, let's have a little look.
Let's go and have a look at it. Yep.
Earlier, I fell down this glitch in the Matrix rabbit hole and remembered an experience that I had when I was in high school that I haven't thought about in years. So obviously I had to take to the internet to see what everybody thought about this. My high school ex and I had been in a neighboring town almost the entire afternoon visiting his family. We were in his Jeep on our way back to my house because it was getting late and I needed to make curfew. The parkway was pretty deserted because it was the middle of the week and his windows were rolled up because it was becoming cold out. Out of nowhere and at the same time we heard sounds one might associate with a major wreck, like glass shattering in the whole shebang. I felt this thing hitting me like gravel and shards of grass, and my head instantly throbbed. We were both so alarmed that he pulled over to the side of the road and we went through. Did you hear that? Yes. Did you feel something hitting you? Yes. We were both in agreement that we had heard and felt the same thing. We looked around and there definitely wasn't a car accident and there wasn't anything in the area. No vehicle as far as I could see, no debris or glass. But there was also nothing to account for my instant and terrible headache. Like I said, I hadn't thought about it in years, but I'm curious to see what other theories in the internet come up with why this happened, as I've never shared it before. What if we really were in an accident that night that killed us both, and I'm just now living out what should have been the rest of my life? Or what if there was an accident of some sort, but something like the butterfly effect or the glitch in the Matrix reversed it? I don't know, but I was just thinking about all these things in my head, these ideas, and it makes a hair stand up on the back of my neck.
There we go. Yeah, it's a short one. What do you think about this, Linda? I can't make head or tail of it too much, to be honest.
I'm going to tell you something, Mike. There's a bridge at a suburb here called Indooroopilly.
Yeah.
It's over near the Brisbane City. It's just west of Brisbane City. Every time I go across that bridge, at one part, I have a massive anxiety attack.
Right.
But as soon as I go about 5 or 10 metres forward in the car, it passes.
Right.
So this is very similar to what these guys are doing.
Yeah.
Because is it a time slip? Is it that we are entering the residual energy of a past accident or murder or something? Or
is it a portal?
Is it that we're going...
A portal. Did I beat you to it?
Is it
Sorry.
A portal? You did, and I'm glad you did, because that makes me think that it's not just my theory here. Okay, so I'm glad you did that. Because is it that we're going through a portal, and that's why we feel this? It's like, because I've been through portals before, and you do feel like you're going up against a brick wall, oosh, and you feel like you're going through yourself.
Yeah.
And that's what it's like when you go through a portal as well.
Yeah.
If you've watched the movie Doctor Strange, there's a couple of scenes in there that may make you feel like what I'm talking about, where you like go through yourself. The Marvel movie Doctor Strange has got a couple of things where where an object passes through another object because it's by location in the same location. But yeah, Dale, it's very interesting what it is. Time slip, vortex, or are we going through some sort of other residual energy of something that has happened there previously and we're just detecting it? So there's a lot there, you know, of possibilities of what it could be, you know, especially for them both to feel it, because if they've both felt the like a portal effect. But let's just go there. We all talk about the Matrix. We all talk about, there's a scene in the Matrix movie where Neo is talking to Mr. whatever his name is, the guy, the guy, and there's all screens up on the wall, and it's Neo because he's been there so many times that he's showing him his reactions from every other time he's been there, and is it that we're just going, we're on like this guinea pig wheel, we play out our history and then we go back and then we're replaying it again and then we replay it again. Right. So how do we know, or are we in an alternate reality, where we do have alternate lives running at the same time in different dimensions that do overlap through quantum, quantum physics? Yeah, so, there's just too many theories, Mike. You know, it actually gives me a headache when I do start really delving in. I think, no, it's not that theory. No, it's got to be that theory. So, some nights I do drive myself a little bit insane because it brings on it like an insanity, guys, if you really do go into all these different theories. But whatever, they had some sort of event. They were both there, so it's great that there was a witness.
Yeah.
There was a witness, so I'm really happy that there was a witness.
Yeah.
But ultimately, at this point in our naive little world of information that we've received, we don't know all the true answers of the universe and how vortexes and multiverses and dimensions work.
Yeah.
So it could be anything at this point, but how good is it that they advertised it and told people about it?
Yeah.
That's the main thing. Yeah.
Okay.
Wow.
Well, we better march on because time is running on again.
It's getting away
So
from
let's
us.
have a look at this reincarnation story. Fascinating one. Now, this is narrated by an Australian fella who I've heard several times. So perhaps after you, if you know who this guy is, please let me know. So we'll run this and we can talk about it after. Here we go.
Diane Williams, Great Britain. Diane's grandmother, Nanny Wyatt, died on the 4th of October, 1974, and for many years she mourned her passing. It was not until her third child was born on the 4th of May 1975 that she started to come to terms with her grandmother's death. She called her child Kelly, and when she was 2 years old, was able to recall stories of her mother's childhood that left her totally stunned. One day, Diane's mother, Sister Pam, was visiting and picked up Kelly and placed her on her lap. Kelly then said, "Do you remember when you used to sit on my lap like this?" Diane and her auntie both laughed, believing it was just childhood fantasy. But then the child continued, saying, "I used to comb your hair," and described in detail the style that Pam had worn, which was a Cleopatra look of the early 1960s. Other than the hairstyle, where did Kelly learn the name Cleopatra? The 2-year-old then went on to describe the type of dress that she had bought for Pam, which was white with red dots, which again was true. Now Diane and her auntie started to take notice at what Kelly was saying, as she was now describing things from the past that were totally accurate. Diane was now starting to notice her daughter's mannerisms, which were identical to her great-grandmother's. When Kelly sat down in an armchair, she would place her child's handbag on the floor between the leg and the chaired leg, which was exactly as her great-grandmother would regularly do when visiting. As Kelly got older, she started describing in detail the types of Victorian clothing she'd worn in the past, even though she had never seen any pictures. Whenever she spoke about her great-grandmother, it was always in the first person, as if she is there herself, and used phrases that were now out of fashion. On another occasion, she described in detail the house she used to live in, along with the types of furniture. When Kelly's grandmother died, she comforted her mother, saying, "It's okay, she is happy and with her family." She spoke with a maturity and a knowing for someone so young. One day an old friend of Diane's visited and were discussing what happened on a certain date when they were teenagers. Kelly then said, "I know what year it was. It was when we had a plague of ladybirds." Her mother's friend was shocked, asking, "How did she know about the plague of ladybirds?" Then Kelly added that, "I can even describe what dresses you wore," and then went on to describe the fashion that her mother wore as a teenager in the late 1950s. They then discussed the Falklands War, which was happening at that time, and Kelly again interrupted, saying, "Yeah, it was the same during the last war when lots of bombs were dropped and Birmingham was hit really badly." Kelly was talking about World War II. Diane now believed that her daughter Kelly and her late grandmother Nanny Wyatt are the same person. At age 7, Kelly was very mature for her age and could easily converse with other adults.
So
Gorgeous story, Mike,
yeah,
isn't it?
and
Absolutely gorgeous story.
I think she's one of those rare children that have gone past that age where they start to forget. Up to about the age of 3, I think people, young children, consider. But she seems to have gone past that period. So, yeah, and super confident as well with it. It's all normal stuff. Yeah. But do you know who the narrator is? On a
Wow.
side note.
I can't place his voice. Okay.
Yeah.
I don't watch a lot of TV, Mike.
No.
Understandably.
Yeah.
Because it's programming.
Yeah.
I don't allow people to program me.
No.
Okay. So I don't watch a lot of TV. Yeah. So I don't know the voice. But I like it. It is a nice, calming voice. Anyway, but if anyone else knows who it was, please comment so I educate myself.
Yeah.
I'm always open to learning new things.
Okay.
Yeah.
Super.
Okay.
Well, look, we'll go over to Katerina's story.
It should just come back in a moment because I'm just watching the live stream.
Right.
Have we actually lost the live stream?
Not at my end, but it looks like Facebook has pulled the plug on us.
It looks like Facebook has pulled the plug on us.
Yeah. Yeah. So there we are.
Wow.
But we're still going strong on YouTube, so we can continue on YouTube, I think. But this is the reasons why I've got to get off these platforms, Linda.
I know,
it's absurd.
Mike. It's funny how there are so many people that have got in, even ghost stories, angel stories. I don't understand the hesitation of why people just don't want to say, even if it's anonymous where we read out their stories, So if you do have something, I might even put a couple of stories together this week of just genetic things that I've seen, Mike, so we can show it.
Yeah.
If I just open up my webcam and do a video, can I email that over to you? Or
yep, via
I don't know how
WeTransfer.
we may. Oh, I don't have WeTransfer. We may actually even organise a Skype because then you can just record it and then just edit it up into, I'll just say story 1.
Yeah.
Well, Kim's still here. We're still here. We've still got people watching, but looks like we're frozen. From my end, we're frozen.
Okay.
If anyone's watching us live, can you please comment that you can see us?
Yeah.
Because my view of YouTube has actually got us not working at all.
Okay. Yeah.
We're sort of just, are we still live?
Yeah.
I'll just comment that. So we'll just see if somebody, it's still commenting, so I don't know what's going on, Mike.
Yeah.
Maybe I've just got to, well, it's saying 3 watching now, so I'm 1. I don't know if I'm watching it because the screen has jammed. Anyway, it's still going.
Okay.
We better get into Katerina's story, darling, and see what that's about.
Okay. Good. Well, yes, we are still live. Apparently, people can still see us.
Yeah.
So, okay.
Yeah,
Let's,
Nikki, we can see the live. It's frozen. Oh, okay. Yeah, it's frozen.
Oh, it's
so
back
can
again.
You still
there we
hear
are.
Us?
It's back.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Okay.
Well, no, it's frozen. She says it's frozen, but here we go. We are here.
Okay.
We're still here.
Super.
Okay.
Let's.
All right. Super. No frozen. Good.
Okay.
Thank you so much, Kim.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
Back are you? Yeah. There you are. So Mimi's back on Tutor. Yeah. So let's go and watch Katerina's story and see what she says.
Okie doke. Here we go.
Hi, my name is Katerina, and my story is one that happened to me when I was away on a college retreat. I was in upstate New York with my college class, and a friend of mine and I were rooming together. And for some reason that night, both she and I couldn't sleep. So we went downstairs to make a cup of tea. It was around 2 or 3 in the morning. And after we finished our tea, we didn't want to leave a mess in the kitchen for everybody to find the next day. So we cleaned up the cups, and it was time to throw away the wrapper of the tea and the tea bag. And as I was sitting there, my friend got up and she was going to go throw the remnants of the tea away in a garbage can that was in the doorway between the kitchen we were in and the dining hall next door. So for some reason, as I was sitting there, I felt this impulse to tell her that she shouldn't do it. She shouldn't throw away this tea bag and wrapper. We should discard it when we get back upstairs in our room. She wouldn't listen to me. I felt like I couldn't get up from the chair I was sitting in. I just was there, like bracing myself for what I felt would happen if she would go and throw away this tea bag. So again, she didn't listen to me, so she goes to throw the tea bag away, and all of a sudden I hear her calling my name, and inside of me was just screaming, "Leave me alone. I don't want anything to do with you right now," because I warned you. But she insisted. She told me that I had to come physically take her away from the doorway she was standing in, because she was like in suspended animation. She was just literally like a statue. She couldn't move. So I had to get up, or otherwise she would still be standing there today. I got up and physically had to pull her away from the doorway, and of course then I saw what something inside of me told me I would see. Now, I wouldn't say it was fear. I don't know if it was even a ghost. What I saw was a luminous figure. It was like somebody took the sun and put it in this dining room. And mind you, of course, nobody in the house is awake. Everybody is upstairs asleep. So it is just very luminous. And like I said, I wasn't afraid. I just knew I wasn't prepared to see something like this. She, of course, was not either, given the fact that, she was frozen in motion. But it would, I don't know, I often thought it might have been an angel. It might have been a nun that used to live on these grounds, perhaps, because in this convent that we were staying in, there was a graveyard of all the sisters who had passed on the same grounds. I also thought perhaps it could be the Virgin Mary, since there is a statue on these grounds that I'd often pray to in a grotto of the Virgin Mary. So I don't know. To this day, I don't know. It was very luminous. Again, I wasn't afraid. I was like, okay, I wasn't prepared to see this right now. So after I took her away from the doorway, we ran upstairs. Of course, everybody heard about it the next day and made fun of us more than a bit. That's my story.
Yeah, probably a benevolent spirit, I would say, by the sounds of it. But it can be shocking if you've never seen it before. Yeah. Yeah.
It's just, how do we know what exactly is out there? Yeah. This is why whenever I see somebody saying there's something like, oh, I just got a Ouija board, should I start using it tonight? Or, oh, I think I'm going to start dabbling in magic. We don't know what is out there because we don't see it. We don't know if it's lying to us. Yeah. So, the best way to go about it, guys, is that unless you're trained or unless you know something about what's going on, don't go there. Yeah. Do research, talk to professionals in the industry. Email me or Mike, because, I just hear too many horror stories of bad things happening to really good people out there because of something paranormal. You know, but it is cool that Katarina's had an experience, so I really do appreciate that she took the time to video.
Yeah.
You know, so guys, if you do have any sort of paranormal, ghost, alien, UFO, NDE, any sort of weird paranormal experience, we'd love to hear from you. If you'd like to be on our show, you know, I might even say, Mike, anyone who says a video, I'll give them a free half-an-hour reading. Or if you want a copy of one of my books, you know, I might even do an email reading for people who say, yes, I'll come onto the show. Because I'd love to see real people with real stories coming onto our show so we don't upset trademark or other YouTube algorithm and things.
Yeah. Super. So there you are.
Yeah. So good, darling.
So
Yeah.
Okay. Well, so give us your thoughts. Get in contact with us.
So if anyone does, contact me or Mike. My email's already in the comments.
Yeah.
Okay, it's linda@lindaray.info.
Yeah.
Mike, you know, you've got your email. Put it in the description as well, Mike.
Yeah.
You know, and other ways to contact you. Put your PayPal link in there too, so if people do want to throw you some dollars for doing these shows, you know, because we do try and help as many people as we can, guys. You know, we don't get paid for this. Gratuity is how we get our help. I got financial. I don't know. I don't want to mention it. Anyway, we've still got another video to watch, Mike, so we'd better get into it because this one is a really cool one.
Yeah.
Because I've got a few notes on this one. Yay.
This is our NDE story. So let's roll this.
I suddenly hear a voice, a familiar voice. The voice screamed out, "Rocky." That is my childhood nickname that has followed me through the years. Anyway, it sounds like a familiar voice calling out to me as I lay there. I am paralyzed and everything fades away and turns black again. I was now in a black void. I'm suspended in the air in the dark. I couldn't see. I couldn't feel my body. I started calling out for help, and to my surprise, my voice was so weak, I could hear myself talking. I kept calling out for help. I just thought to myself, I have to get back to my family. I don't want to die. It's like the situation that once you ask for something, you get it, and then don't want it. I kept yelling, "Please help. Please help me. Please." I felt a sensation of being released, and I began to fall. I began to panic at that point, and I remembered my mother saying to me all the time, over and over, that if you repent you won't go to hell. I believed at that point I was falling into the abyss of hell. I could not see, but I could hear screams all around me, cursing me and calling me names. I kept falling, and I as well remembered my mom telling me, if you pray to God for forgiveness, you won't go to hell. I was weak from this whole ordeal. I said to myself, "Rocky, you have got to do this. You have it in you." So I began to pray. I prayed to God, "Please forgive me of my sins." I pray to you, don't let me die. I then accepted Jesus Christ as my Lord and Savior. I continued to pray, and finally I stopped falling. I got to the very top, and I was given a hand. I saw a figure, but never saw a face. It was a radiant light. I just know as I reached the top of this hole, this dark ditch, I was offered a hand, which I believe now was that of Jesus. His hand was so strong. His touch was so comforting. I needed him, and he was there. His presence was so amazing. I, at one point in life, didn't believe in God. I was so bitter because of the way my life had gone. But the Lord's radiance was upon me, and for once in my life, I felt whole. I had God on my side, and everything was going to be okay. I made it out, and this strong angelic voice said, "You must go back, child. Your family awaits you. But before I can send you back, I must show you a few things you must see." I was taken back to moments in my life. The first one was the knife incident in the field walking home from school. I was shown the whole incident as if I was right there beside myself watching everything go down. I was asked what I learned from this situation, and if I would have changed anything if I could go back. I said, I am truly remorseful for this situation, and if I could go back, it never would have happened. Because I never would have accepted the knife when it was offered to me, and I would have just told someone about the bullying. And honestly, fighting with hands isn't the best way to solve a problem, but in this incident, it would have been better to handle this matter hand to hand. Or better, just by talking it out with those individuals. I do wish today that that had never happened and it didn't come down to that. I could have and should have made better choices. I was then shown my younger self. I was around 7. I was at my childhood home, and I was sneaking cheese slices out of the fridge. I took 10. I went to the couch, unwrapped them all and devoured them, and then shoved the wrappers in between the couch cushions, hoping no one would find out I ate all the cheese. Then I was shown a vision of me and my father eating a birthday cake. My dad used to say, "It's someone's birthday today, so let's go get cake," and we would. We would sit and eat the whole cake. I was shown this. The voice asked me, did I see any wrong in these visions? I again said, yes, I should not gorge myself like I'm never going to get another meal because I know I will. And I also know there are people who will not. There are some people who don't get to eat for days. I saw many visions like these, and I had to be very decisive in telling him the lessons from each situation I had learned. All of a sudden, everything stopped, and he was gone. I was in a bright white room. Maybe not a room. I was just surrounded by light, and Nanny was there. Nanny is my grandma, who died several years prior. She looked so beautiful, but mad. She said to me, "Rock, it is not your time. We are not ready for you here. You have a beautiful son and an amazing partner waiting for you, and your family is waiting there. You have to go back." I said, "I don't know where to go." She pointed in the direction to my right. So I went that way, and I was back in my body. I made a miraculous recovery. I spent 2 weeks in the hospital after my event. My kidneys completely healed themselves. I am no longer iron anemic. I had been anemic for several years due to gastric bypass. My hemoglobin and vitamin levels were all normal. I am on blood pressure medication and beta blockers. I do have a permanent pacemaker, but I have made an astonishing full recovery. I am now a very intuitive person. I began to have dreams that have predicted actual events in my life. I see symbols that I have yet to master the understanding of. Since my experience, life has been wonderfully amazing. I don't take a single moment for granted. It was terrifying, yet amazing. I made it. I made it back.
He made it back, Linda. So, you know what I found interesting? This is one of the NDEs where he had what could almost be described as your typical Judgment Day. He was showed all the things that he did was wrong. Interesting.
He just said a lot of things in one there, Mike. He wasn't just talking about one part of an NDE. He was doing a very condensed part of everything. First of all, my notes. Conscious thought to call out for Jesus. So this shows that it's not a dream state. It is actually something that is occurring because he can think. It is conscious. Okay? So I'm glad that he put that in there because that shows that it wasn't just him having a dream where we watch a TV screen. Okay? I like it how he said he was bitter because that shows how he went through that life review process where he's looking at all his other memories and he has to relive those memories, which is like my... here is my cover of my book where I'm looking at doing my life review. But there are so many different versions of the life review. You know, we don't all turn up in like the church where I was. Some people are in like a big dome. Other people are out in the field doing their life review. So, but we all do go through this process, even though it's in different locations, okay? Yeah. But there's one thing that he did talk about, which really made me interested in this. It's when he started talking to his grandmother. He said he was in a room, but it wasn't a room. It was all white, and he met his grandmother. That's exactly what happened to me, where I have a picture. Here's my picture, because there's no walls, there's no floor, and there's no ceiling. Yeah. we're in a white room, because I call it the white room, but there was no wall, ceiling, or floor, and I call it the white space. So, see, there's my chapter, the white space, that I call it, because he said that he met his great-grandmother there and they spoke.
Right.
I met my great-great-great-great-grandmother there and we spoke. See, there she is and there's me. And she said to this guy, because he just said it, at one point she said, "You've got to go back." And that's exactly what my great-great-great-great-great-grandmother, how many greats? There was 4 greats, okay? That's what she said to me. So here we are again with another man. He doesn't know my story, and I've never heard his, but mine's in a book, so you can't just say I made this up yesterday because it's already in my book, which I wrote over the past 5 years. But we've got exactly the same situation where we've met a past relative who has given us all this information and we must return.
Yeah.
Boom! Boom! I love it, Mike.
Yeah.
I love these boom moments where I just get this, oh my God, they had the same thing as me. You know?
Yeah.
It makes me feel so honoured and privileged. You know, I feel like finding this guy and saying, "Hey, where are you? I just want to give you a hug," you know? And how he talked about his injuries, about how a lot of his illnesses, etc., went away when he woke up.
Yeah.
You know, you look at the injuries and stuff that I've had in my life and how I get healed so easily now. You know, mind you, tonight I've got allergies, but they're not worried about allergies because it's not life-threatening, you know. So we still get all these anxiety attacks and stuff, and we, you know, as humans, we sit here thinking, oh, my God, I'm going to die. But they're up there just laughing, thinking, no, you're not. You've still got X amount of time left yet, you know. Oh, my God. But, yeah, that one really, oh, I love it. I love it, Mike. Hearing other people telling the same thing that I went through. A room that was a room, but it was not a room because it was all white. And there was no doors, floors or ceiling. And that's where exactly. And I was looking down because there was no floor.
Right.
And I was thinking, well, how am I not falling? You know, because I remember being there with my great-great-great-great-grandmother. And it's just like yesterday. So, I really liked his story. Yeah.
Good.
There you go.
Well, okay, look, before we knock off, as it were, I just want to say that the Jeanne d'Arc Prophecies is up on YouTube for people to watch and comment. And if you want to ask a question to Jeanne for next week, just put something in the comment box, or I don't know what they do in YouTube. You can reply to a message or whatever. Get in contact with me, and we'll ask that question to Jeanne. You know the type of questions that we talk about. We don't do personal stuff because it goes out on the open broadcast. We normally do spiritual stuff or global events and so on and so forth. So there we are.
Amanda's just commented that she's seen it. I've already watched your last one too, Mike.
Right. Okay.
You know, I love it when you put those up because it's beautiful. You know, it's so good to be able to see how you're getting the messages. You know, so there you go. There's a bit of feedback for you, darling.
Thank you.
Yes.
Well, I really do like unfortunately,
it.
you're in Australia, but in September at the mothership there where we do it from, we're going to be doing a live session only in front of about 10 people, and me and Denise will introduce Joan to the 10 people live, and then I'll start doing some live streaming, be doing it on Zoom or something like that, so it won't be on the internet, and there you can ask whatever questions you want to ask. But you know, it's always good when I have Denise on the table with me, because it does prevent because if you're not experienced to this, you can manipulate the table inadvertently to give it answers, and when there's two hands on there, it's much more difficult to manipulate the table, and it's more fun with two people. So don't try it at home. it's a very precious and serious work with table tipping.
Yes.
And as you'll see,
Yeah.
we do more than just answer yes, no questions. I often get it through me if it's more than a yes, no question. But you'll see she moves the table in a figure of 8, which is the infinity. And there's the table movement for you are great, God loves you, patience, courage. And when she gets impatient, if she can get impatient, she moves this table in a way as if to say, what is your question? I'm waiting. And sometimes
Yeah.
if people try and trick her, the movement she makes is, you know the answer to this already, or I've already told you the answer to this. So there's no
Yeah.
point trying to trick her. I mean, it's a daft thing to do. But
It's like my lady, darling. I can't trick her either.
you can't.
You know,
Not
because
such
they
a
know
highly
our
evolved.
intentions.
Yeah,
They know our intentions. They know our motives.
yeah.
You know, they
Yeah.
know our motives. Oh my gosh,
And
it's scary when they know us so intimately.
Sometimes, sometimes Jean won't even answer the question. She'll just stop the table. And
Yeah.
that generally
And you know what that
means,
means?
yeah, you know, not interested, finished, we're done, boom.
Yep.
Um,
Yep.
So there we are. But anyway,
Yes.
you got a
Yep.
dash, I got a
Oh, yeah,
skedaddle.
it's that time of the night for me, darling.
Yeah,
Yes.
so
Wow.
we'll be back
It's
next
all
week.
good.
Got a lovely
Yeah, guys.
NDE next week, Linda. A beautiful NDE story about the little boy. Little heads up here. It's not a spoiler alert, but it's the little boy that died, and the birdies come to collect him, and they took him where he went and brought him back. It's such a beautiful story. But he called them the birdies. It was a beautiful story. So I don't mind giving you that spoiler alert, because that's just a little bit of it, of what's to come.
Yeah.
So
Cool.
good.
All right, everybody. Well, I do have to get going, Mike.
Yeah,
Yep.
me too.
It's all good, darling. Well, everyone, please stay safe. Please stay well. Stay happy for the next week.
Yeah.
As Katarina would say, stay
Stay
curious. Okay. But most of all, if you do want to share a story, please contact Mike or myself. Our email, we've both put our emails in as a comment. Please contact us and say, hey, I'd like to share my story. How do I do it?
Yeah.
If you don't want to be live on air with a video like we show, you can always just send us like an email and we can just read it out for you on live.
Yeah.
Okay? Any experience that you've been through, guys, it's all good.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, on that note, guys, from Australia, stay warm because it is freezing here. Funny how they're not talking about how cold Australia is at this point. You know, we're free. Look, I've got my gown on my lap.
Yeah.
Because I'm my like little blankie because I'm freezing here again tonight. Yeah, so there you go, guys. I've been sitting here I've got 3 layers on over my legs. So there you go. So stay warm, guys, and love yous all. Stay safe from Brisbane. Okay.
See you, everyone. Take care. Bye-bye.
Bye.